Hey, what's good, people? This is Cool Blue, and
this is Lady Blue.
And this is another episode of Blue Talk, episode 13. We kind of switched it up a little bit this week. Well, I kind of switched it up a little bit this week. I kind of wanted to dial in on my city, her city.
Charm City.
So, like I said, I had a different topic laid out that I'll probably do in like one of my later topics. So probably like episode like 15, like for me, because of course you got the next one. But without further ado, like I said, this episode is about Charm City, and I'm gonna get into some fun facts about the city. But before I do anything, like I said, I'll have a definition for everything. So Baltimore is a city of northern Maryland on the arm of Chesapeake Bay, northeast of DC. Has been a busy port since the 18th century. And to throw out some fun facts, May 22nd, 1830, Baltimore becomes a site to the first regular railroad passenger service. The National Great Blacks and Wax Museum is the first wax museum that sheds light on African American history. The United States Post Office was inaugurated in Baltimore in 1774. The first dental school in the world was founded in Baltimore in 1844. Baltimore was home to the first black-owned shipyard in the U.S. Just some fun facts to throw out before we kind of get into this topic. And as you hear me turn pages, settle down. All right, cool. So, like I said, we were under the weather, as you can still kind of hear it in our throats a little bit, and I'm in here in our chest. So we kind of been battling this now for about a week and some change. So, like I said, charge it to the head, not the heart, literally. But like I said, our first topic on this conversation is community. And the first bullet that we hitting on is authenticity. And when we speak on authenticity, the people in Baltimore City, what you see is what you get for the majority. I'm not saying that everybody's a straight shooter, but like this is like one of those like kind of like a show me state where it's like I believe it when I see it. And like a lot of times, like people have a tendency to come here that aren't necessarily from here, and the authenticity can be a bit much for out of towners. So I'll let you get into it a little bit because like I said, I've been yamming for a cool minute.
I would say when it comes to real, recognize real, a lot of people in Baltimore are very blunt and straight shooters. I don't know if that's because we're closer to not even closer, but like we're the midway point between North and South. We're the last southern state.
Mid-South is the kind of demons with.
Or Mid-Atlantic.
Mid-Atlantic.
So I don't know if it's because of like we deal with people in the North so much that we have to be straight shooters, or if it's because it's just like it's the personality here. But a lot of people here just like they're gonna say it how it is, and even without slang it seems harsh or like someone is downing you, but it's really like where your common sense at? Like Baltimore thrives on common sense.
Yeah. And that kind of brings us into our second point, which is tradition. If you're not from here, you got to get used to like the traditions of people here. Definitely the people of color here, because in the summertime, cookouts.
We don't call it barbecues.
We call it cookouts. I'm about to say. And then the thing about it is, cookouts might start at like 3, and they're going to be 3 p.m., 4 p.m. until. It ain't no...
Or the invite says 3, but don't show up till 5.
Exactly. So it's like, it's like, and the thing about it is like now, like we slide into the month of March. It's getting warm outside. It was about to start getting warm outside, so you're about to start seeing people on the porch. You start seeing people on the porch, the music comes out. The crabs come out. The lick come out. The greenery come out. Like all of that. Like you know the vibes if you hear. So it's like, and a lot of people come from out of town. It's like all y'all do is chill out and da-da-da-da, and all y'all do is hang on the porch all day. But it's like, it goes back to community. It's like we grew up like this, like, so. I
will say one of the things that we're famous for, or tradition, is if you grew up in like Southeast Baltimore, closer to like John Hopkins, that area, we're known for marble steps.
Right.
And it was a Saturday tradition where people would leave that, well, not leave, but wake up and wash their marble steps on Saturday morning, let them things dry, and then you sitting out on the steps all day if it's nice outside.
Yeah.
So, like, we are full of traditions. We have so many different ethnic communities, if I'm saying that right. So, we have, like, a strong Greek community that has a Greek festival. Granted, where they have the Greek festival has now been taken over by Hispanics, but one of the main Greek Catholic churches, I believe, is still in that area. So they have Greek festival. We have a Polish festival. We have the Afram here, which is a big deal in the DMV. Artscape, yeah, because Baltimore is known for being artsy.
We have a big jazz community.
Yeah, jazz. We have spoken word.
Bluegrass.
Yes, bluegrass. Yeah, I'm not really in the country, so I can't speak on that. But we even have stuff like Humfest, which honors women from the 1950s, 60s, and like the progressive woman of the time. So it's a lot of tradition here. And crab season is all year. So you will expect sometimes, depending on the family member, like, hey, we cracking crabs. We eating crabs. You putting in on it?
Yeah, that too, and I noticed that like a lot of people like kind of like make emphasis like, why y'all eat crab so much?
Because they're delicious.
yeah.
And I tell Kitty this every time we go to the state: you cannot trust seafood below Virginia. I won't say you can't trust it, but I will say because Maryland style seafood or Maryland DMV style seafood is a bit different from everybody else.
Yeah.
That when you eat it, you expect it home, and it's not home.
Yeah.
So,
everybody say no. Like I said, I made that mistake a couple times. But I will say, I do like Florida style.
Florida style seafood is good.
I do like Florida style.
And now the whole nation is starting to use Old Bay. So
yeah. I'm about to say like, I want to try. What was it like? Was it South Carolina? Like down there, like I'm about to say.
Yeah, I would trust like coastal towns in like South Carolina and stuff like that.
Yeah, I'm about to say I haven't been down there just yet, so I want to try that version. But getting off topic.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and Baltimoreans, we love our seafood. It's
easy. Oh my goodness, everything.
Well, Maryland is, but especially Baltimore.
Yeah. The next big topic I want to hit on is black presence, because like we make up 66% of the population of Baltimore, and like a lot of things that people try to come inside here and do, politicians, activists, whatever the case may be, they try to do a lot of things in the city, but don't want to involve the city when we make up more than half of the city. So it's like you can't do things here and not involve us at all. Like, like it's so many people who've come here and tried to, like keep us out of the equation, and it fails miserably every single time. Or it's like you'll have some life to it, maybe like 2-3 years, and then you back in the wind. You know what I mean? Like people have come here from New York, people have come here from LA, whatever the case may be, and it's like, like just, speaking on like randoms, and it's like, if you don't involve community, get what you get, like, and it's not to try to like bash or try to like stop you, but it's like, you can't have Baltimore if you don't have a black presence in here. And it's like, and that kind of goes to like my next topic.
Oh, well, I wanted to add some info.
Oh yeah, please. I'm sorry.
I would say too, for the black presence, I think as well, what people don't realize is that Baltimore has been predominantly black for a long time. And we sit in a pivotal space when it comes to like history and civil rights and things like that. And we also have a rich history for the great migration from the South. Yeah. Because that's how my family ended up here, looking for jobs in like the 1930s, well, I won't say 30s, but like the 1940s, 50s, 60s. Like, my family originally comes from a small town in South Carolina.
But you know what I noticed? Here. You know what I noticed too, and not to cut you off, my apologies, like a lot of families, at least a lot of black families up here that I've come across have come from the Carolinas. Mm-hmm. So it's like, You know, like, I still have family down in the Carolina. So it's like, you know what I mean? So it's like, you know, like, it's different. It's very, very different when you kind of like sit back and look at it. But like, you know, definitely great points that you hit on.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, that's why you need our presence, because we've been the presence for so long. And like, our grandparents started the city, so we're connected. Like, so many people, grandparents have so many different roots and stories here that it's just precious that we try to hold on to.
Like, it was like another fun fact. Like, James Brown is like deeply rooted into the city. Like, you know, like a lot of entertainers, like a lot of people, you know, Billie Holiday. You know, like it's a lot of rich. Like, even, you know, like the black, because everybody kind of focuses in on, like, you know, like the Harbor and Fed Hill and for, you know, like the Star Spangled Banner and things like that. But like, we as a race have a lot of deep, rich history in this city as well.
Yeah.
That's neither here nor there.
Yeah.
And the next point I want to hit on, it's going to ruffle a lot of feathers, but we aren't the boogeyman. And when I say we, I mean black people, because a lot of times people come and it's like you see stuff like The Wire, because we still get that to this day in 2020. And it's like people are afraid to come here. And people are afraid to be around black people in general. You know, like, and it's like, or it's like you kind of get the like, oh, like, we don't mind being around you because you're one of the good ones. And I'm pretty sure somebody watching this video has heard the, oh, we don't necessarily mind you. You're one of the good ones.
Oh, they might not say it like that, but you know what they're trying to imply.
You know exactly what they're, yeah, I'm about to say, you know what they're trying to imply. So, you know, like, black people in general, you know, I've been running my mouth for a minute. I'm going to let you slide into this one for.
Well, one of the things I will say, like you said, because of The Wire, we kind of, not that The Wire is giving us a bad rap or nothing like that, because I don't want to put that narrative out there. But I think that's the only part that people focus on. And what people have to realize is that it's a TV show. So,
yeah.
Yes, a lot of things that happen in that show is true life. And, like, a lot of people in this community is connected and might know people who were involved with that life.
Yeah.
But that is not the beginning nor the end of Baltimore. Like, there's a movie coming out soon that's highlighting the dirt bike culture here.
Yeah.
I hate driving through it, but it's a culture and it keeps the boys out of semi trouble, so whatever. Then it's like we also have so many things. Like, the art scene here is great. Micah, one of the best art schools, it brings a lot of attraction and energy around. So it's like, you just have to realize, like, we're more than just the images they put on media, because they only putting stuff on media that's going to grab your attention. Like, oh, let me click and see what's going on there. But they're not going to highlight a roots grown, you know, political group or something, or, you know, just different things that people are really doing here to enrich the community.
Yeah. Or
highlight the stuff that's not happening with our local government that should happen, like the food deserts that are around the city.
Yeah, I'm about to say, like, no, we're going to talk about the food deserts a little bit later on, because that's a whole nother conversation itself. Kind of goes into redlining and a bunch of other stuff that, you know, kind of details. But yeah, like I said, the reason being why I wanted to add this to the topic is because, you know, like, we noticed just from like the conversation, because we traveled, and we noticed from a lot of the conversations that we have when we go out of town, it's kind of like, oh, well, you know, y'all don't act like that. Or y'all have, you know, like, or it's like da-da-da-da, and it's like, I might not necessarily be a part of, like, gang culture or selling drugs or whatever the case may be, but, like, I'm in the community. Like, I'm here. Like, we go to stores, we shop here, we eat here, like, we attend everything here, and it's like, you know, like, and not ashamed of it either. You know, like, because a lot of people are kind of, like, ashamed of the community to a degree, and it's like, for what? Like, I grew up here my entire life.
For what? And I mean, you learn so many different things being here. Like, yeah, you know, you get the roughness or whatever, but culturally, Baltimore is so rich. So, like,
people have no idea.
Yeah, it's like, when we mention all those things, like the different ethnic groups and things like that, like, it's so rich in culture here. One of the reasons why, like, people sometimes they come here and get stuck here. They don't want to leave.
Right.
Like, because it's like, it's a good mix. Like, we have that big city. We operate and we are a big city. Yeah. But because of how the communities try to keep different cultures alive, we kind of have a small town feel in certain pockets.
Yeah.
And honestly enough, I've even noticed in my neighborhood and stuff, like, people are more, like, willing to talk and have a community effort now. So we just ready. Like, we ready to shed off the bad and bring in the good light.
There you go. All right, and it kind of leads us into like our final, which is growth. You know, growth within the city, growth within the community, and you know, like what you kind of were like speaking on, and you know, it brings us into culture, and you know, when we speak about culture, not only do we talk about, you know, like the grassroots, like how you mentioned how things certain, you know, play out, but it, you know, like how we go about building from here on, you know, like you said, we're ready, you know, like, and there are people in position and there are groups in position that are trying to like change the narrative, you know, like we have a, you know, I won't even necessarily say we have a system, but we have certain things that go into play, whereas though like you look up and it's like we're managing not only ourselves individual, but we're managing everything that goes on around inside the city as far as like our lives, our family lives. Our parents are getting older, so it's like a lot of the traditions and stuff that were passed down, like we're trying to preserve, and you know, like, and then we're trying to build traditions while shaving off negative stereotypes about the city, you know. Mm-hmm.
So to add to that, I would say, well, I've already spoke on culture, so we could move on to the next point, which is use the resources. If you're here, I always suggested, one of the things that got Kenny and I traveling, our first couple years in our relationship, we kind of decided, oh, you know what? Let's become tourists in our own city. Let's see let's check out these different places that we haven't been to. Or like, I know for myself, I watch Travel Channel all the time, and I used to see stuff that will be like, oh, located in Baltimore. I'm like, what? I never heard of that. Like, so tap into your local, look and see what other people are looking at, like restaurants or things like that. And now on Instagram, there is no excuse.
Exactly. I'm about to say, you can literally hashtag damn near anything on Instagram and it'll pop up in your city. Yeah. Like, you know, like people sit back and tell us all the time, like, y'all always eating somewhere, y'all always finding some type of event, y'all always going somewhere. It's like, we will lay in a bed on a Saturday morning, my Bmore, like hashtag Baltimore salons, Baltimore festivals, like,
and go on Eventbrite too. And that's for anybody, even if you don't live in Baltimore and you want to get to know your area better. Instagram, hashtag your city name, or you know the abbreviations for the name, because that's popular too. And also go on Eventbrite and just see what's going on. You will find out so much stuff.
Eventbrite, Groupon. I'm about to say, because
Groupon is a good one.
We didn't got a billion things like wine tastings, like tours, all types of stuff like off of Groupon. So it's like, use the resources. I'm about to say, even like going to like the Baltimore website in general. I'm about to say, visit Bmore. Like, you know, like it's
the library.
Library is an amazing
I just miss
resource.
A YouTube personality I watch all the time at the Enoch Pratt Library.
Last night.
Yeah. And I was pressed because I wanted to go, but I couldn't make it. But still, like, it's not going to be yet every day.
Oh, okay.
Oh, the camera told us we was talking too long, so we're going to wrap this up.
Yeah, and the last thing we have is Go Green. When I say that, like our community, our younger community, millennials in general, definitely have a green thumb, and you know, like actually care about what we eat, what we're processing, our daily regimens, our daily diets. Like we were talking about before, when our videos like meditation, things of that nature. You know, like shit, and it's like, and there's a lot of black growth, and the reason why we're tapped in so much on like our skin colors, because like you said, the city's made up majority of black folks, and we kind of get the bad rap when it comes
In
to
the
stuff.
media, yeah.
Yeah, and it's like we don't do anything, we aren't involved in anything, and it's
But
like
little do they know, especially black women are one of the top small business owners in the city of Baltimore, if not Maryland.
But the thing about it is like even like I think I read something we was talking about where it was like Silicon Valley or something like that, where it was like black women were kind of like tapped in like.
Oh,
Well,
from this side, it's some kind of
Yeah.
article, basically, either here or somewhere on the East Coast, not too far from here. There's black women in tech that are growing more than they are in Silicon Valley.
Yeah. And it's like, like I said, and I think it's just in like the surrounding area in general, not just tapped into Baltimore, but like, like DC, Virginia, whatever the case may be.
Yeah, and Baltimore is trying not to be swallowed by gentrification as well.
Exactly.
Especially with so many people, millennials in particular, starting businesses and trying to show how great we are here without outsiders coming in and fully consuming it. And we mean by outsiders, we mean corporations and things like that. Like, we want to still keep that small town accessibility when it comes to products and stuff. Yeah, we know corporations are needed, but we also want to preserve the culture that the city has grown over the years.
Yeah, I'm about to say, and there's still a lot of small business here as well. Still a
Yeah.
lot of small business.
Oh, and back to the Go Green, because I'm sorry, I know her.
No, it's fine. But like you were saying, like the community, the Green Thumb community here is, like ever growing. There's pages, there's groups, there's Facebook groups, everything. Like I said, like do your research, see what you like, what you don't like, tap in, and start growing. I'm about to say you've grown now a little bit.
Yeah, so I've been getting into house plants and stuff. I'm just looking. One, I've always been pretty good with plants anyway, but they bring like a calming presence and as well clean the air in your house.
Right.
And it's like he said, it's a part of meditation. And I want to start growing my own food because I don't mean no harm. This coronavirus got me shook. And I don't know if y'all know, but we get a lot of stuff from China, even food-wise. So, yeah.
Yeah, that's
I want to start growing my own food. Plus save on my grocery bill.
So, final thoughts. I'm about to say I'll let you kind of tap into it if you have any final thoughts for.
Final thoughts. Baltimore is a bomb-ass, quirky-ass city. I definitely say once you come here and you get immersed, you will definitely love it here. Just don't fall into the trap of thinking that The Wire or what the media put out is the only view that we have here.
Right.
Because it's not.
Honestly enough, my final thought, if anything, for Charm City would be like, enjoy the history here. Like get to really take time to tap into our history before you make like ignorant, statements and comments. Because like I said, that burns me up more than anything, like, and like I said, that's just me, like, but a lot of times people make ignorant comments about the city, not doing their research and things like that, and it's like you totally believe whatever the news or local media tells you, and it's like you don't tap in for yourself and see exactly what we got going on. So that would be my thing. Do your research.
And the same spirit of discernment you use for people everywhere else, use it here.
Exactly. But this has been another episode of Blue Talk. I am, of course, Cool Blue. This is
Lady Blue.
And we'll catch you on the next go round. You got the next topic?
Yeah, I do. So I don't have it thought out yet. Your girl has just been trying to survive through the week.
Oh my God. Like, we can actually breathe. As you can see, she's still a little like, what's the name? But it's like, we can actually breathe again. Oh my God.
So
man.
I will be thinking of that soon. Also, if you're in Baltimore or surrounding area, wherever you're willing to drive, Cupcakes and Conversations happening tomorrow, February 29th from 2 to 5 p.m. at the Baltimore County Towson Library, 320 York Road. So I hope to see you there. I'll put the link down in the description bar. After this. Right. It's time for me to go. Oh my goodness. But I love y'all and I hope to see y'all and I hope you enjoy.
Okay, dope.